Hi Taurus, welcome to Spirit Mail. We're going to be talking about career and money. While I'm shuffling the cards, I just want to remind you that on Tuesday nights we do influencer interviews. I'm calling it Deep Dive Tuesday, and it's at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. If you've missed previous ones, we probably had about 3 or 4 of them so far, so go back and check the live interviews and you'll find them. Also on Saturday mornings we do roundtable, and that's where one of you guys jumps on live with me and we have a conversation about your spiritual journey, your background, and whatever you want to talk about. That is at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday morning. So if you would like to participate in that discussion, please email me so that I can contact you, or so that I can put your name in the hat and you'll get your turn also. That's kind of like a drawing for whoever's next up. Okay, so without further ado, God, guides, angels, archangels, and Holy Spirit, I thank you so much for the Spirit Mail community, and I thank you for Tarot as a tool. Show us clearly what are the energies that Taurus will be navigating as it relates to career and money. We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity, and we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Okay, Taurus, career and money. We're looking at a firm foundation. We're looking at spiritual union, and we're looking at material and financial changes. Okay, so now remember, this spiritual union, this is not a love reading. So whenever I ask Spirit about career and money, that's what he's going to talk to me about, career and money. So this has to do with you as it relates to career and money. So before we pull the clarifiers and get into the reading, we're going to pull an oracle card from the Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reed, and we're going to find out what is the overall theme of this reading. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you so much for tarot as a tool, and I thank you for oracle cards to show us clearly what is the overall message. We thank you for clear and concise messages, love, light, and prosperity, and we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. And we're getting sad embrace, and that's 45. So 4 plus 5 equals 9, and that, for me, talks about graduating. You're graduating a cycle, okay? We're going to read the card and see what it says. Also, 4 is about firm foundations, and 5 for me is about change. So we're going to see what that's saying. Okay. It says, love is a part of life. Loss is a part of life. Let go and allow time to heal you. You may be entering into a period where loss is a theme. Perhaps you're having to let go of a long cherished dream. If so, take heart, for this ending may have been for your highest good. A better and more powerful dream will be realized in your life, and if you can accept the loss. Relationships based on faulty foundations are meant to end at this time. Disappointment is a form of perception. If your expectations weren't met, a sense of loss arises, along with sadness and grief. Express these emotions. Tears are like healing rain that can restore life to a parched inner landscape. Growth is always assured. Whatever the loss, however great it is, let go and experience your feelings so that you may soon see what beauty lies ahead. Okay, so let's talk about this. Well, we're going to go ahead and pull the clarifiers, but while I'm pulling the clarifiers, I just want to tell you, don't freak out. We're talking about career and money, and they're talking about loss, right? Spirit's talking about loss. But sometimes it's like they said, the loss of an idea. And once we let go of that, we can move on to the bigger and better idea that our soul knows that would fill us up in a different way. We're going to see exactly what's going on here. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, show us clearly what's the meat of this message. What's the context? We're looking at firm foundations. Clarify that. Clarify spiritual union. And clarify for us financial and material changes. We thank you for clear and concise messages, love, light, and prosperity, and we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Okay, so clarifying firm foundation. We have the Three of Wands. Clarifying spiritual union. We have the Seven of Wands. And clarifying financial and material changes. Wow, we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so guys, that's a lot of passion right here, okay? For me, the wands are all about passion and purpose and creativity and inspiration and communication with spirit, like listening to your intuition and following your gut and all that kind of stuff. So we have right here firm foundations, and I feel like what Spirit's saying is that there's some changes taking place, right? Perhaps your company's downsizing, perhaps you walked in to your office and found out that you didn't get that promotion that you were hoping that you were going to get. Whatever it is, right? You had something that you thought, this is going to be it. This is going to change my life forever. And this right here, the firm foundation, the foundation, with this triangle and being red, for me, it's more talking about what our beliefs are about what financial security is, what our beliefs are about what makes us safe in the world. It's those foundational beliefs that we have from growing up. It's our programmed beliefs, right? And I feel like this, whatever's happening, is rocking those beliefs. But you're coming in with a real strong Three of Wands. So Cheryl, why are you not freaking out about this loss card, right? Because the last thing it said is if we can let that go, we can move on to the more beautiful things that are in store for us. So I'm going to give you a real quick story. I started working when I was 13 years old, and I worked for an ice cream stand. Then I went to work at a grocery store. And while I was at the grocery store, an attorney came in, and I asked him if he, would need a secretary, a second secretary or whatever. He told me to come see him the next day. He hired me part-time. I was actually still a senior in high school. And in my family, we all just thought that was great. Like this was it for me. This was beautiful because I was going to be able to have an office job and, whatever. Also, he was going to send me to school and pay for it. He did actually send me to night school, and he was paying for my tuition. Okay. But something happened along the way, and I got offered a job as a salesperson. And it's a long story, so to make it short, I took that job because I could see where it was going to bring me places that other job was never going to bring me. I was looking for the ships that were going to be able to come in, right? And it rocked my dad's world, okay? And it rocked his world so bad, he kind of scared me a little bit, but I didn't even tell him about it until after I did it. They say it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission, right? So, but I went out and looked for and found some. I didn't go out and look for it. It actually came and found me, and I could see the future there. So I took it. So I feel like that's what this is about. There's something that's falling apart around you. It's crumbling around you. But there's this inner part of you. It's like this inspired part of yourself that is really excited because they see. It's like your soul knows. Your soul sees this future. So whenever we can let go of what we were hanging on to so tightly, that was just bringing us round and round and round in the same circle, and we weren't ever going to go anywhere. And it's falling apart, it's crumbling. It's because something deep inside of you, and you may know what it is, sees something better for you, sees a better opportunity out there. So then you're coming up with soul union, okay? Wow. This is about relationships, about letting relationships go, right? So it's like, we all have masculine and feminine, and especially when it comes to work, we always most of the time operate in that more masculine energy that's real task oriented, get the job done, show up early, stay late, all that stuff. But it's like the maybe the feminine side of you, the more inspired side of you, is crying to come out and do something else that is more in line with who you are, right? And it could be just the promotion that you're looking for, or it could be changing companies, or transferring to a different department, or something, okay? But it's something that's way more in line with who you are, that your soul wants. It's like you can feel it. And even though this is crumbling, right? This is trying to let go. Even though that's crumbling around you, all those thoughts or whatever, it's like, if you stop and think about it, you were probably thinking before it started happening, this is not fulfilling for me. Am I going to stay here? Am I going to do this the rest of my life? You were probably already thinking those things. So Spirit's saying, we're trying to bring you in union with who you are as far as your work goes. Guys, there's some big changes taking place in all the signs, I think, right now. Huge changes. So they're there for us to walk into. Or we can take this loss and go home and sit in our corner and cry and say how bad the world is. Or we can say, let the tears flow, cry it out, and then release it to see what the more beautiful thing is that's coming in. Because I feel like Spirit's trying to connect you with the truth of who you are, with the where your masculine and your feminine are balanced. There's not one side of you being squashed, okay? And look, you're getting the 7 of Wands. And I feel like Spirit's saying, you have been through a lot, and you can stand your ground and be who you are. You can stand your ground and walk into this new opportunity. You can stand your ground and do some root chakra healing so that you can, to help you release that's no longer serving you and move into this other thing. And then we're getting financial and material changes, okay? So in the traditional tarot, this is John Holland's Psychic Tarot, which is an oracle deck. But in the traditional tarot, this is a left out in the cold card. But in this deck, I don't see anybody left out in the cold, right? I see different worlds, different parts of yourself merging, all these different colors merging together, right? And it says changes. It doesn't say loss. So, and I feel like, again, here's Spirit saying, here's an inspired idea. We are helping move you through this because the deepest part of you is not happy where you are. The deepest part of you wants more out of life. The deepest part of you wants to get up and have purpose in your day. And again, this doesn't necessarily have to mean a spiritually based business. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. But whatever it is that you're going to do, I talked a while back, I can't remember who it was, I can't remember what sign it was, but I said, it's like whatever's going on with you, you're going to impact people. If you're a server at McDonald's, the way that you make eye contact with people can change their lives. But if you're caught up in this place where you're not happy, but you think it's where you're supposed to be, then you can't walk into that place where it's more in line with who you are. Because when you're walking in your truth and in the kind of business that makes you happy, that makes you that helps you stay in alignment, that is in alignment with who you are, then the people that you interact with are affected by that. They're affected by that because your energy is affected by that. So this is material and financial changes, and I really don't feel like this is lost and alone, or out in the cold, or even financial stress. I feel like it's a change. Something's going to change, and I really feel like it's for the better. I really, really do. Okay, we're going to get a PS. God guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit. Thank you so much for this message. Thank you for taking cards. That looks so dreadful and showing us a more positive side of it all. Thank you for giving us the clarifiers that help us understand the context, that help us understand that the energies that come toward us are not there to bind us, but in some cases to release us. So, show us the PS. We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. What is the PS for Taurus, please? Okay, so there's the Eight of Swords. Okay, and I feel like that's part of this. We are. It's almost like, especially my age group, we're conditioned coming up that we have to get a job and stay there for 30 years or 40 years, and at the end of that time receive a gold watch and be grateful. But we have to stay there. We have to be loyal to that place, right? And Spirit's saying, no, this is not the way it is. Untie yourself. Untie yourself. Release yourself from that idea. Do those root chakra healing things. You can go on YouTube and do root chakra healing and help yourself release those ideas about being bound where you are, because you're not truly bound. And then you're getting the Three of Swords, and I feel like this is, it might break somebody's heart, it might break your own heart, that if you're being downsized, it might break somebody else's heart if you're just determined that you're going to leave. Whatever, and I'm talking about career and money. I'm not talking about relationships, love relationships. But we do get attached to people that we work with, right? And we get attached to the work itself. Even when it's not fulfilling, we feel a loyalty toward it. But if there's somebody being downsized, or if somebody else got the promotion instead of you, or if you're being asked to resign or whatever, it's a betrayal, right? It's a betrayal of, you have been so committed and so loyal, and now look what's going on. But I feel like, Spirit's saying this is a transformation for you. That, look, guys, we go from this. Well, first of all, this is the overall part of it, right? And it's saying this is not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy. Cry, be mad, be angry, shout, holler, cuss, whatever you got to do to let it all out, and then release it so that the more beautiful thing can come in. It's just like the butterfly. It's a caterpillar. Then it goes into this little dark place called a chrysalis, and it's stuck in there. And before it can become a butterfly, it has to kick its way out. So, and then it can release itself into the freedom. It can't get stepped on anymore, because it's not bound to crawling on the ground anymore. It flies. Freedom, right? So this is, I feel like a huge metamorphosis, a huge transformation for you. And we can, and like I said, we can get stuck in the thinking of it all, the mind of it all. And so this is a time, I feel, whenever Spirit's saying, we're growing you into something that you really want to do with your life. Do what you got to do to release this stuff, and then let's grow on this road together, this beautiful road together. Okay, Taurus, that is your career and money reading. Thank you so much for stopping in, and until next time, have a super duper day. Bye.